Guy that you want if on this team to say, all right, here's the assignment, follow DK Metcalf around, you're playing man, you're on him, is Emmanuel Mosley. And he is not with the team, obviously, because of the injury. But
I mean, it's a team with like three dynamic offensive weapons. Four, really, you want to consider Kenneth Walker.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, you got Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and JSN obviously has to prove himself in this league, but I think he's still somewhat respectable. I don't know if that's a team you're necessarily going man up with. But
yeah, that's why I was really hoping for Emmanuel Mosley to be back for this game because he's guarded DK Metcalf before. He's been there. He knows what to do. He's a long, rangy, physical corner. Would have been perfect, but injuries happen, just like injuries happened during this game. We saw Dan Campbell had a press conference today, which was only like 15 minutes. I thought it was really short, but he talked about the injuries that happened in this game. Obviously, we know David Montgomery went down, left the game. It's a thigh bruise. Dan Campbell says he's day to day.
Yeah.
James Houston, he's going to miss some time. Do we have the report from Ian Rappaport, his quote about the James Houston injury?
Yes, we do.
I think he fractured his ankle in this game, and here it is from Ian Rappaport. Pass rusher James Houston suffered a fractured ankle, sources tell me and Tom Pelissero. This injury knocks him out at least 6 to 8 weeks, and they're going to find out if he needs surgery. We'll get an update on that, I'm sure. James Houston out 6 to 8 weeks now. David Montgomery day-to-day, and Big V, he missed IR. They didn't have to put Big V on IR, so that's a good thing, but we'll see what happens with him going forward. It's just more shots. Those are important guys to this Lions team. Obviously, David Montgomery looked great when he was in the game.
Yeah.
He was toting that fucking thing. Like he looked like the guy you brought in here for a reason. His injury's not too serious, it seems, so that's a good thing. Dan Campbell said he's day-to-day. James Houston is a different story. You're going to be without him for a massive chunk of the season, and that sucks, especially with the lack of pass rush, with the lack of ability to get to the passer, to get to Geno Smith. That was evident in yesterday's game. It's tough to lose James Houston for an extended period of time.
I cannot believe
that hurts.
this shit.
Losing James Houston. I think I obviously know the extent of it. I'm expecting 2 weeks. Because you look at this week, the thigh bruise. I'm talking about that is with David Montgomery. You look at the play that happened. I was like, he was kind of spinning around. Initially, we thought it was an ankle, but we watched the play while he was had that one leg just soloed out right there, took a shot straight to the top of the thigh or bottom of the thigh there. So I'm expecting at least 2 weeks because you have this week against the Falcons and then a short week against the Packers come next week on Thursday. They suck. On top of that, too, you got the Big V situation. I think the good news about that, though, what you hear about Big V is that he's not going to go on IR.
Yes.
But, I mean, and other guys, too, just banged up. You got Kirby Joseph. You saw him wince or come up slowly every single time yesterday because of his hip. You got Amon St. Brown with his toe, which might be turf toe, which we know affects guys for almost an extended period of a season. That's something that doesn't really go away if you continue to play on it.
Chauncey Gardner-Johnson with a hand. He had to leave the game. He did come back. Obviously, all those guys finished the game, but
at some point, Aiden Hutchinson left off on his own will, went off the field too, touching his shoulder, it looked like. And we didn't have the speakers on in here, so I don't know specifically what it was, but it sucks because a lot of your key guys are banged up. But unfortunately, I don't have these excuses for this team anymore. I have expectations for this team. I have expectations for this coaching staff. I think there is somewhat a little bit of depth. Obviously, I've always wanted a chunk there in the middle, physically and literally. Yeah. But I don't have these excuses, especially when again Seattle heading into this game. The conversation on their side of the town. What are we going to do to protect Geno? How are we going to give Geno enough time to sit back there and make throws? Dude threw 300-plus yards.
Yeah.
Picked apart this defense yesterday.
Was not touched until the end of the game.
And they were missing both left tackles and the center. So, excuse me, I'm not going to allow injuries to be an excuse for a coaching staff that I respect. Yeah. I'm just not.
No, you have to be better, flat out. And you can't blame it on injuries because, Montgomery going down sucks. Yeah, missing James Houston sucks. But that doesn't change the fact that you couldn't get to Geno at all. James Houston being out or being in did not change the fact that Geno Smith was doing whatever he wanted in the backfield. He wasn't scared of anything. He was moving around making plays. So, you can't make injuries an excuse. But these I'm more worried about for next week going forward. Obviously, none of these guys are probably going to play next week. If David Montgomery plays, it'd be a miracle. You got Zonovan Knight on the practice squad. Looks like it's time to call him up. Maybe call around, see what a Leonard Fournette's looking at. See what a Kareem Hunt's looking at. These are guys that you can go out and you can sign that are proven veterans in the NFL. I'd be ecstatic if they got Leonard Fournette. That would be a great signing in my book. So
the Rams are also shopping Cam Akers.
Cam Akers sucks. I don't want Cam Akers.
Yeah. Ever since the Achilles.
Yeah.
But Achilles for running backs, no offense, good on that. J.K. Dobbins, good on that. The Achilles, I've suffered an Achilles. I'm not an NFL running back. It sucks. It's not
you
fun.
were out of commission for a while.
Yeah, it's not. It's Achilles for running backs. No, I'm good. We need defense. If we need anything, we need a tier defensive line. I'm just flat out. I think the Josh Pascal situation hurt us too. I don't think that's being talked about enough because, as you know, he played inside, and it wasn't just like his presence as like a defender itself, but just his knowledge. He often sets the edge. Like those situations where Gino would step up, or we'll go back actually last week to Patrick Mahomes doing so. If Aiden was there, he'd step up, but Josh would be there too, and whatever he narrowly escaped. But there was none of that yesterday. Yesterday it was just Aiden, and he's able to step to the side. Where Josh Pascal had some type of like wherewithal to either like try to cover a gap or squeeze him out another way. I think they're going to miss Josh Pascal for the next 3 weeks too. But again, there's somewhat a little bit of depth. I'd like to see Bugs in there now. I'd like to see Broderick Martin in there now.
I would too.
And not just because I'm bitching about it. Give him a fucking chance.
Well,
because the guys you have in there right now aren't doing dick.
You can't sit there and convince me that Isaiah Bugs or Broderick Martin are worse than Benito Jones. I don't care what the coaching staff says. I saw Bugs all last year. We know what he is. We know he is a solid player. You can't tell me that those guys are a worse option than Benito Jones on the interior defensive line. You can't do it. Yeah, I'm not going to let you do it. So both of those guys hopefully need to be suited up and ready to go against the Falcons because you're going to need them. The Falcons want to run the ball. The Falcons run the ball heavy. They have good backs in Bijan, in Tyler Algier, Cordero Patterson. We'll see if he plays or not, but you're going to need those guys to help you clog the middle. And Benito Jones is not getting it done. You can't tell me he's a better option than Bugs. You just can't.